So, Lukaku is official now. How about that Kunde deal?
Release the Kraken! It's a stretch, and it's in! And I can't remember the last time I saw something like this! Aguero! Guess who? It's him again!
What's up, and welcome to Absolute Sitter. I am your host, Mac, and I want to thank you for checking out my content. I know you could be somewhere else on the internet checking out Jose Mourinho's progress at Roma. But you're here with me, and I appreciate that. Speaking of Jose Mourinho's progress at Roma, officially agreed, supposedly, is a $34 million deal for Tammy Abraham going to Roma. Now, I have mixed feelings about this because, as we can see, Jose Mourinho is already on the Jose Mourinho path at Roma. It's a little bit of banter. It's unfair. Who knows? There'll be the conspiracy theorist that's going to say that Jose Mourinho is doing this on purpose. It's a way to put the fight in his players, show his players that he's there for them, have them kind of die for the shirt, him also show that he's willing to die for them. Who knows what they're going to say? But we also know the circus that normally follows Jose Mourinho. So do we want our young player, and I'm still going to call him our young player, even if he gets sold to Roma, going over there as his progress in his development? Now, I'm of two minds here. Jose Mourinho, somewhere in there, is still a great coach and still has the capability of bringing out the best in players. Somewhere in there. For obvious reason, there's also reason to be concerned with Tammy Abraham going to Roma, especially when at Atlanta were interested in him and they play free-flowing, attacking football. We all know Jose Mourinho's style of football, and is that going to match with Tammy Abrams? But we can't say defensive football doesn't bring the best out in strikers, because we literally just bought a footballer who late blossomed, and the best of his football, his striking up front, was brought out by a defensive coach in Conte. There's also the other factor. We also know Jose Mourinho is very egotistical, can be even petty, and he would love to take a Chelsea castaway and mold him and bring the best out of him and still kind of be able to be responsible for that. Even maybe make his return back to the Premier League and try to be the scourge of Chelsea with Tammy Abraham. Or if Tammy Abraham ended up at Chelsea, Jose Mourinho can always take credit for his development. So I don't know which way to swing this. I know that this deal is moving forward one way or the other. I much rather the move Broja made, which is a loan move, only a year, going to Southampton. So Broja will be joining Livramento at Southampton. There's mixed feelings about that too. But look, guys, this is going to happen more often than not in the future. When you have a good academy, as frustrating as it is, we're going to have to kind of take it as some kind of like backhanded compliment when people start trying to rate our academy for talent. It means that your academy is doing something right. I think that the solution to this is, of course, for Chelsea to look into their past and do what we did with Courtois and start doing longer term loans instead of a 1 year loan. And we know that, this player is playing behind Reece James or something like that. Put them on a 2-3 year loan, let it play out, let the player also feel some kind of stability in their life, not feel like I'm going on loan to come back to play for some coach in preseason, try too hard to try to impress him, not put my best foot forward, and then end up getting loaned out again somewhere else, can't spread my roots, can't grow as a player because I'm constantly worried about where my future lies. Put them on 2-3 year loans. Maybe Reece James is not the best of, and Lamptey is not the best of examples, because obviously they were so close in age. But if you're 2 years ago, if you're sitting behind Azpilicueta, and Azpilicueta has maybe 3-4 years left in him at that time frame, Do we want to keep sending this guy out on 1 year loan, when we know the smartest thing to do is get him fixed at a decent club? And we go to a Everton, you go to a Aston Villa, you go there and you say, okay, listen, we're not willing to sell, like Leeds United right now. We're not willing to sell, but we are willing to put this guy Conor Gallagher on a 2-year loan to you guys. Let him go, learn his trade, and then come back to his parent club in 2 years. And then we can really see where it is. Instead of this buyback clause thing is cool, but there are ways around it. It also is kind of like the club kind of telling you, hey, we see a little spark. So if you do develop in something, we want to be able to take back our mistake. So we want to insert a buyback clause rather than, hey, we definitely see a future in you, so we want to put you on a long-term loan. Yes, you'll be gone from the club for 2 years time, maybe even 3 years time, but it's not that we don't believe in you. It's just not the right time at this moment in time. These loans, I think, are the future, but hell, you guys comment below and let me know what you think. Let me know if maybe you think of another way to solve this, or maybe you don't see this as a solution and maybe there is really going to be something that we should be worried about when it comes to the youth setup. Now, there is a story that I need to cover now. I haven't seen a lot of outlets covering it. I just want to kind of cover this story and get it out of the way because it's not the best of news. So I have to share with you guys, unfortunately, that our former Chelsea and German midfielder Michael Ballack's son died at the tender age of 18 on August 5th in a unfortunate quad bike accident in Portugal. The Blues did offer their condolences. Everybody associated with Chelsea Football Club is shocked and saddened to learn of the death of Emilio Ballack at the terribly young age of 18. All our thoughts are with his father Michael and his family at this sad time. So, I mean, there's not much more to touch on this. I'm not going to comment on the manner in which I don't know about the story. All I know is, 18 is incredibly young. It's an incredibly sad story. So I'm just going to have everyone just have a quick moment of silence for our legend and his family at this sad time. Rest in peace, Emilio Ballack. So trying to move on from that very sombering story to something a little bit more positive, the aftermath of our victory in the Supercup. So yes, the Supercup, I will acknowledge, is a bit of a glorified friendly. You can tell by the unlimited amount of substitutions you're allowed to have. But regardless, this cup has eluded us in our previous attempts to get it. I kept saying 3 attempts, only to come out to find out there was 4 times that we've been in, and we actually have won it before. I believe in 98 is what I learned. But I know that I watched our first Champions League victory lead to the Super Cup, which we were defeated in that one in kind of embarrassing fashion by Atletico Madrid. Then we went back against with our victory in the Europa League, which we ironically, this is what led to Lukaku leaving. His penalty miss in that shootout. We lost that one as well. And then we had the Liverpool loss most recently after beating Arsenal in the Europa League. So this was like 4th time's the charm, really, but 3rd time's the charm. We go in 1-1 and we dramatically take it on penalties. And that term gets used a lot, dramatically taken on penalties. Listen, it was dramatic. First, let's just comment on the game. So, Hakim Ziyech started us off very well. We were up 1-0 fairly early in the game, but late into the half, around the 20-something minute, Hakim Ziyech finished off a very lovely move from Chelsea, and he's just continuing his great form, but unfortunately also continues just these random things that seems to get in this guy's way and set him back right before he explodes. I mean, this is an injury that was enough to take him out of the game. The coach then commented the next day and said it was serious. No one's saying the length of time he'll be out, but for him to go out right before the season opener and right before Lukaku's there for him to link up with, it's kind of unfortunate. It's not to say that Chelsea won't have or will be lacking places, but it's just every time this guy starts to build up a head of steam, here comes some unnecessary nonsense to derail that. So, of course, that was the ugly of the game. Another thing that's not a major concern, but, you know, after the Euros and trying to get into preseason kind of late and players coming back at the wrong time, and also Thomas Tuchel having to look at like a plethora of players and decide who's going on loan, who's good enough to stay, who needs to be sold. Some of the players are not ready for the Premier League start, but the Premier League start is around the corner. It's coming faster than you can imagine, and Pep Guardiola's already admitted it. Thomas Tuchel more eloquently danced around the idea that we're still not at 100%, but you could tell after around the 35th or 36th minute that the energy level dipped, and along with the energy, the reaction time, the chemistry, everything seemed a little bit slower, which led to, in the second half, Villarreal being able to come back into the game. Credit to them for sticking it out. Credit to Gerard M. Looks every bit the part of a striker. Very much, if we weren't already getting Lukaku, looked like somebody we should have actually been taking a look at. He doesn't really fit the mold of that hold-up play type of striker, but very intelligent with his movement, very intelligent with his finishing. Physicality is there. All credit to him. We go in to extra time 1-1, and though not for a lack of trying, neither side really looked like they were really going to put the finishing touches on each other. If I did see a winner before the extra time was over, if I'm going to be totally honest, it probably looked like maybe Villarreal might be able to just fire up that Chelsea bad luck and like hit us with like a stealer at the end. But we go into penalties. Thomas Tuchel makes the very ballsy decision to make the swap of his goalkeeper and go for Kepa. Now, at the time, I'm not going to act like, oh, I knew this was going to work. I tempered my reaction to this. A lot of Chelsea fans were like, what are you doing? I was a little bit more, Thomas Tuchel's got to know something why he's putting in Kepa. I said, this is a weird substitution. He must know something. And later on, he then explained that, you know, this was just cold, calculated, statistical analysis of his players, and seeing that Kepa statistically is better at in a shootout or at penalty saving than Mendy. Mendy took it on the chin and took it very well. He understood what was going to happen. It didn't look like something that they weren't prepared for. It looked like they knew, if we're going to penalty shootout, I'm going to use one of my substitutions and I'm going to bring Kepa in. Kepa came in, and the rest is history. There was your storybook ending of a movie of this redemption for Kepa, the guy who wouldn't come off in another shootout scenario, now ending up in dramatic fashion winning us the penalty shootout. Now, yes, everyone who made their penalties definitely played their part, but when I say dramatic fashion, this penalty shootout couldn't have started off worse for Chelsea. Here comes Kai Havertz, the guy that we want to, kick on, coming off of the Champions League victory goal, and he takes the first penalty. It's a very soft penalty, doesn't look well placed, doesn't look confident. Their goalkeeper eats it for breakfast. Stop, right off the back, we're down 1. Kepa jumps the right way the first time, but barely misses. Now we're in the hole. At some point, Kepa is showing signs, even though he's pretty much cheating and jumping to his right a majority of the time, of that he's got one of these saves coming up. Even though, when you really look at it, he is the shorter and shorter reach out of him and Mendy. He stops one. So now it's even. But you can feel the sway of the momentum kind of swaying back in Chelsea's favor. and up steps Jorginho with blonde/silver hair, looking like Phil Foden, and hop, skip, and a jump goal. It's on Villarreal. Here is Kepa's moment. He sticks his arms out, makes himself big, and reaches, and again jumps to his right, makes a very good save. This is not like a lucky fingertip. He gets all the way behind the ball, stops this, and kicks the ball. And you can feel the celebration and also the tension and the relief in Kepa before the team swarm him and jump on him and the celebrations start. And yes, it is just a Super Cup. You know, no one seemed devastated on Villarreal to lose the Super Cup. They were disappointed. It is a friendly, but you could tell this was his redemption moment. And credit to Kepa. I'm very happy for him, not just because he's a Chelsea player, but just knowing the whole backstory. And again, Thomas Tuchel, I will never doubt you again, my man. Whatever you're doing tactically, just keep on rolling. So yeah, so that was pretty much the Super Cup. We do leave the Super Cup with two things that a little bit to be worried about. The fact that even though we just got Lukaku, and that is official, that the rest of the team still looks like they're still warming up and the season's going to start, regardless of whether or not we're ready, whether or not our match fitness is there. And also, of course, the Ziyech injury, that sucks. But we finally won. So finally, the last thing that I can touch on is the Premier League starts in 15 minutes. It feels like it. It feels like it's around the corner. I'm glad to see the Lukaku deal done. Yes, I am the guy who is reluctantly going to be optimistic about Lukaku and us making the right move with him. But already there are links with Haaland and City. So that's my big worry. Regardless of that, Lukaku is here. I'm happy about that. And I know he's going to do work for us up front. But time's running out, Chelsea. Can we get this Koundé deal going now? I understand there were a lot of distractions. Messi to PSG, and could we try to get that move? And all of those kind of things. But the longer that we play these games is the longer that we give the opportunity for someone else randomly to just swoop in and make a move for Koundé and get him into the squad, because at this rate, it'll be 2 or 3 games before he can even make his debut if we end up getting this deal across the line. Now, I want to say if now, because I'm actually starting to believe that there's a chance that we won't get this deal done. Am I terribly worried? No, especially because I saw that Trevor Chalobah, even though has been linked to a move, and Thomas Tuchel looks to have taken a shine to him. So do I think we're going to be defensively in worries? I don't think so. But I think Koundé is the perfect replacement for Azpilicueta, and it also strengthens the club's hand in contract agreements with Christensen and Rudiger. It doesn't leave us worried that if something happens with their contracts, because neither one have extended yet, that we're terribly worried about either one of these guys going out. Anyway, guys, you guys comment below. Let me know what you think. Remember to like, share, subscribe, hit the bell, hit the like button. I am going to shoot for an ambitious 10 likes on this video. If you like this content, you want to see more, please stick with me. Comment below. Let me know what you guys think. And until then, don't get caught in front of goal and miss an absolute sitter.
Release the crowd!